How's everybody doing today? It's Craig here again. What I've got here in front of me is that Craftsman 4-cycle mini cultivator. Done a little video on it about the effects of leaving the gasoline in it at the end of the year or for long-term storage and what the causes and effects are. I showed you this side. I took the carburetor on apart. This is the bottom side of it. Here's the carb body itself. See how that's all just destroyed. The diaphragms are, they're like stiff as a board almost. The metering diaphragm. This side here would probably be okay to reuse because it doesn't look like it had any water in it. If it did, it was very minimal. And of course the purge bulb. Clean it up a little bit, it can be reused. But the rest of this is just, it's total junk. This is what ethanol gas will do. It attracts water. You know, I talked about that in the last video. This is the causes and effects. Ethanol gas left in your power equipment for long periods of time, and by long periods of time I don't mean months or years. I'm talking sometimes weeks. I personally, if I don't run my stuff within 2 weeks before I start it, I drain the gas that's in it out of it and I put fresh gas in it. The same thing with the mixed gas that I have. If I don't use all that mixed gas within a couple weeks, I actually pour that gas in my riding lawnmower and I'll run it through my riding lawnmower instead of running it through the power equipment, the handheld power equipment, 2-cycle stuff like this, even though this is 4-cycle. Mainly because my riding lawnmower has a plastic carburetor on it and it's not going to eat it all up. There's the metering diaphragm. See how it's even all rusted. So anyway, carburetor was purchased. Don't know where it was purchased from. And I got to show you this. And this is more likely going to be the tip of the day here. Here's the carburetor. It's an aftermarket one. It's a barrel type. And what I mean by barrel is instead of having the traditional butterfly down in the venturi, this would be the side to see it. Instead of having the traditional butterfly down in the venturi, it's got like a barrel down in there. And then what you see there in the center is your emulsifying tube with your main metering jet that's going to be into that from the bottom side. Anyway, this was installed and could not make it run. It would run on a little bit of gas charge that I put down through the center of the venturi here. It would run on that and it would die. Yeah, it's mounted. Yeah, it's mounted like this. So that's how it's mounted. So anyway, couldn't make it run only on what little bit of charge I put down the throat here. So another one was purchased. Another aftermarket carb. Another barrel type. Says it's for this. I have not put this on yet. Just received this a couple days ago and now I'm just getting to the point to where I can work on it. Did anybody see the issue? Because I showed the issue to you. If you was smart enough to be paying attention, maybe happened to see it. For those of you who may have had the same issue, you've already picked up on it. It's, how do I say this? It is a carburetor issue that caused it not to run. But it's not a carburetor issue being that it was junk or not proper, I don't know the exact words to use. There was a manufacturing step that was missed. The issue with this carburetor, this one right here, the issue with this carburetor is quality control. I don't know how the hell it even got out of their factory. Well, I do know because it come from China. Enough said. You know, might have been a Friday carb, might have been a Monday carb. You know, it might have been the first one Monday or the last one Friday. Or maybe somebody just thought it would be funny to pass it and see what would become of it. Here they are side by side. This is the first one here. This is the second one over here. See the impulse hole? See the impulse hole? This impulse hole is not there. The casting is there, but it's not been opened up. This one here is opened. So I'm all but sure that's what the issue was with this carb as to why it would not run. And why this carb I believe will run. So we're going to put it on. I'm not going to bore everybody with installation, but we'll put it on, then I'll come back for a quick startup. So we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, we're back. Got it mounted up. I've already got the tank on it. I used some junk old Tygon fuel lines. That's really about the only thing that I had. The steel R line that I had was an R3 and it was actually a little too big. So I wound up using old Tygon. Had to clean the gas tank out where there was old shellac buildup in there. I just put some pea gravel in there with some old used gas and just kept shaking and shaking and shaking. Finally got it all cleaned out. Like I said, I've already put gas in it. I've already primed it. Seems to be holding gas. Doesn't seem to be leaking anywhere. There is an issue with the throttle cable. When I pull the throttle and then release it, the throttle stays wide open. So I'm going to have to remove this throttle cable and soak it in some oil to get some oil down inside of it to get it loosened up. So at this point we're ready for the first start. I don't know what's going to happen. I did have it running on just shooting some gas down in the carburetor, so I do know it does run. So choke's on. I'm going to start it without the air cleaner in it. Choke's on. The ignition is off. So let's turn the ignition on. I did check it before I started messing with it. It does have oil in it. This is a 4-cycle, so it does have crankcase oil. No oil in the gas is needed, although I did put 2-stroke mix in it. I don't know how long it's been since it's been ran. A little bit of oil in there won't hurt nothing. Actually, it'll help lube things up, you know, after setting for a long period of time. But I don't suggest running 2-stroke oil in a 4-cycle all the time. A little bit now and then doesn't hurt a thing. So let's give it a start here. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. So this thumb gun might eat me up. I hope not. So here we go. Cable's hanging up is actually holding it up off of idle a little bit. Got a little bit of a squeak. I'm not sure what that is. Probably down in the clutch, I would say. Actually sounds like it's running pretty good. Idle's up good. can't get to the throttle to idle it down. I took it too far. Oh, there's why. My bell for the throttle was still up in the lock position. That's why I couldn't make it move. I'd say right there's probably our rattle issue. So I'm going to have to take this off and see why this starter doesn't engage anymore. It's probably just seized up, rusted, just like everything else. So okay, I just wanted y'all to see that put a new carburetor on there, makes it run. But the main reason for the video today was another FYI tip of the day. Remember the little purge line right there, the purge opening? Let me see if I can get this in a little bit. You can see where it's supposed to be, but it's not been opened up. So if you buy one of these aftermarket carburetors and you can get it to run on a shot of gas down through the venturi, down through the choke, and it'll pump gas through the bulb, but it won't run once it's out of gas, take that carburetor off, make sure you got a passage for your purge line, or not your purge line, but your pulse line. Because these carburetors will not pump gas if it doesn't have the pulse signal from the crankcase. Okay, hope everybody enjoyed. Hope somebody finds this interesting and maybe learn something. See y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.